What up, David here with Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and today we're going to explore some lore for this awesome game. This is Grifty. He seems to know a lot of things about Rogueport and its history, and today we're just going to dive into the stories that be, for a price of course. Good day to you, sir. Is there a tale you want to hear? These are the tales I can tell you now. Yeah. So, I haven't looked at any of these, but some of them, like, if you just stop on one and then go off of it, the red thing disappears, but I haven't read any of these, so I did back when I played this game as a child, but I'm kind of reliving this because I don't remember the nitty-gritty details. So let's start with the first one, the Fearsome Demon. For mere 5 coins, yes, of course. Tell me. The Fearsome Demon. Ages ago, a city flourished here in peace and splendor. But it was destroyed in a single day by a demon from the dark beyond. Historians claim a great calamity befell the city, but nay, 'twas a demon. The city sank below the ground, and 1/4 of the old city became the demon's den. This demon put fear into the hearts of all men and sent out minions to take the land. And its den, its palace, grew rich with the treasures stolen from all over the world. If there is another tale you wish to hear, just ask. So, the demon took a whole portion of the town, and that became the Palace of Shadow. As we've explored underground Rogueport, there's a lot of its ruins, and that's the town that used to be here before it sank. That means everything behind the Thousand Year Door, being the Palace of Shadow, is actually, like, the manor of this demon. As we know, it's the Shadow Queen, so I don't know if I'll censor that. I might have to censor that. Spoiler alert? Maybe I should put a spoiler alert in front of these. Anyway, the second tale. Yep, the Crystal Stars. In order to increase its already formidable power, the demon created crystal stars to hold the essence of the heavens. These stars were scattered across the land, the better to exert the demon's influence. One of the castles built to contain these stars still stands near Petal Meadows. If there's another tale you wish to hear, just ask. Hooktail Castle? It's interesting how that's the one of the castles, but there are definitely other strongholds for sure. I wonder where they could be. Actually, yeah, I want to hear this again. So the stars were created by the demon to channel the power of the heavens. What does that even mean? They are celestial and filled with power. We know this because of what Grubba was able to do with them, what Lord Crump and Grotus were able to do with them, and most people just kind of keep them lying around, like Hooktail and Cortez, so it's just interesting. Dupless had it lying around in a bell. It's just funny. So, we'll go to the next one. Dragons and Dungeons. I actually like the name of this one. Dragons and Dungeons. The demon built a dungeon near its palace and filled it with terrifying monsters. All those who fell into disfavor were thrown into this dungeon to rot. Yeah, and the demon also had 3 dragon pets, Hooktail, Gloomtail, and Bonetail. These dragons flew across the land, spreading fear and sorrow over all. The dragon's remains have never been found, and even now, some nervously wonder if they still live. There's another tale you wish to hear. So, that's an interesting one, because everyone in Petalburg seemed to know that Hooktail was around, still alive and kicking. But Hooktail's old. She is very, very old. And now we know there are 2 others, which is cool. We haven't run into them at this stage in the game yet, but for those of you who know, they're around. Now, something that's actually glossed over here is the dungeon thing. So the dungeon where they were thrown to rot, that could be Gloomtail's dungeon or it could be Bonetail's dungeon. One meaning it's a segment of the Palace of Shadow, the other meaning it's the Pit of 100 Trials. Hooktail also had a castle to call her own, which also had the remains of many, many Koopas if we remember properly. So, just interesting. Next tale, The Hero Who Arose. The Hero Who Arose. One day, there came a hero who could vanquish the fell demon. The young toad from Petal Meadows was strong of arm but shy of voice. All those around the boy teased him endlessly about the way he spoke. But when the demon cast its fearful gaze across the lands and reached out, the young toad used his strength and honor to defend his people, and he became a hero to all despite his odd voice. Alright, so a random toad. Interesting, who maybe had a stutter or something? Now we got the Wise Goomba. The Wise Goomba. There was a wise Goomba from the Boggly Woods, gifted in knowledge of the world. When beasts rose to take the woods, this knowledge helped the people fight them. And this Goomba, who knew the way that every monster would attack, she began to think of a way to banish all monsters from the land. Alright, so Goombella may have had an ancestor, and it seems like they kind of knew the whole... Goombas... It's established that Goombas just kind of have this thing with knowledge. Because Goombario knew everything off the top of his head. Goombella has this book where she can access pretty much anything and figure stuff out. So, that's interesting. It's like another Goomba, also, like, frankly, also probably also knows everything. Also, probably also. But he's got books for days. So, it's kind of interesting how it's like a Goomba thing to just know the enemy. The Stalwart Koopa. Here we go. The Stalwart Koopa. A Koopa who traveled the world alone, learned of the darkness covering the land. He went alone wherever evil dwelt, and banished it with shell and sheer bravado. The monsters grew to fear this scar-riddled Koopa, who thwarted them at every turn. But the brave Koopa was finally taken in a trap set for him by the monsters. Taken in a trap set for him by the monsters. But then a Boo, who fought with the monsters, came and used her magic to free him. The brave Koopa's spirit had melted the heart of the cold Boo lass. If there's another tale you wish to hear, yeah. So, got a little love story here with a Koopa, a Goomba, a Toad, the 4 heroes. One of them might, the Boo might be one of them. Interesting. So here we go. Next tale. The 4 heroes. The Boo used her powerful magic to learn more about the evil they faced. We cannot destroy this darkness alone, she decided, her face a grim mask. We need the Toad hero of Petal Meadows and the wise Goomba of Boggly Woods. The Boo's magic drew the 4 heroes together to send the demon from the world. And so the 4 heroes finally set out for the Palace of Shadow. If there's another tale you wish to hear, just ask. Yeah, and this is where we kind of get this Boo, this Koopa, this Toad, and this Goomba. They formed a party, basically, to take on the demon in the Palace of Shadow, and they probably went on a huge adventure as well. I want this game as DLC. It probably won't happen, but this would be so cool, even if it's short. Even if it's the length of, like, Little Nightmares or Limbo. I could even see it having a different visual aesthetic, too. It would just be so cool. Anyway, next chapter. The Duel with the Demon. The power of the world-devouring demon was greater than any could imagine. But the wise Goomba soon realized that this was the power of the crystal stars. She thought of a way to take the stars and use them against the demon. She told the other heroes her plan and set it in motion, banishing their fears. The Boo's magic and the Toad's strength created a gap in the demon's defenses. At that moment, the brave Koopa seized the stars, and succeeded in badly damaging the demon. If there's another tale, ooh, yeah, so removing the stars revealed the demon's weak point, and that was done through a combination of magic and strength, and the Koopa actually hurt the demon for the first time. Oh, moving on. The demon sealed within. But even the brave Koopa's stroke was not enough to end the demon's reign. The wise Goomba thought of another use for the crystal stars in that dire hour. She suggested sealing the demon forever with the crystal stars. All agreed. The heroes matched their strength with the power of the crystal stars, and they successfully sealed the demon's soul within the deepest part of the palace. Together, they made it so that only all 7 stars could break the seal. Okay, and now we're getting the lore. The demon was sealed away, and it was the power of the stars. Now I wonder how the heroes harmonized their energies with the stars. It seems like just having them and being in possession of them allows you to wrest their power from the demon's grasp. Moving on. The Demon's Curse. The 4 heroes thought they had sealed away the demon and all of its powers. But the demon used a tiny opening before the seal was complete to curse them all. While holding the crystal stars, they'd feel nothing, but when they let them go, a black chest would appear to seal their souls within. The 4 heroes traveled the world, scattering the stars so the seal would remain. But the last 4 stars each carried the curse, which claimed each hero. Each carried the curse, which claimed each hero. Did I say cursed? So, that explains, and this is why I love this lore, particularly, that Grifty says, because you don't just learn about the demon, who is the final boss of this game, but also you learn about the cursed chests, the spirits within being the spirits and souls of the 4 heroes, so they actually meet Mario and give him the powers to help kind of fix this again. So it's almost like they probably knew that the 1,000 years were coming along, which explains why they're kind of funny in the way that they pretend to be, I'm gonna curse ya. But, for real, how you doing? I like to imagine that the Boo, who kind of seemed sensitive and like really good with the magic aspect, I kind of like to believe she's the one who was like, oh, that didn't hurt, did it? Great. It just doesn't seem like something the Toad would, or the Koopa, or even the Goomba would do. I kind of want to like try to figure that out. That'd be a fun thing, like which of the 4 chests correspond to which hero. That'd be fun. We should do that. Anyway, we got another one. Oh yeah, damn, this is a long one and I like it. Okay, 5 coins, Great Tree and Punies. The Great Tree and Punies. The hiding places of many of the crystal stars have now faded into legend, but some say that the wise Goomba hid one in the Great Tree. At that time, many monsters wandered in the nearby boggly woods. The tiny punies living in the woods were constantly tormented by the fierce monsters. Pitying them, the Goomba hollowed out the tree for the punies to live in. The punies were so grateful that they swore to protect the crystal star there. If there's another— ooh, that's cool! That explains why it was even there in the first place! Oh, this is actually really fun. Oh, this is the story of the heroes after sealing her away and running around the world to scatter them. That's awesome. Alright, oh, this one sounds sad. The Boo Heroine's Last Days. Once the Boo Heroine hid her star in a steeple, she was trapped in the nearby town. Some say the crystal star lies in that steeple still. Oh, that was a quick one. Yeah. So Dupless probably didn't even know that was there. It was just chilling in the bell. And that's funny because that means the chest, as soon as she let it go, claimed her. And it probably got moved out to where it ended up in the Twilight Town storeroom. Because it was probably just another treasure in the steeple that someone brought out from there. I wonder if any of the Boos in Creepy Steeple know this story then. Alright, ooh, this will be a fun one. The Pirate King Cortez. The Koopa hero went to a southern isle to hid his star, where none would find it. But the Koopa was so tired from his journey that the pirate Cortez stole it easily. In that very instant, the brave Koopa was trapped in an inescapable chest. But Cortez did not realize the power of the star and lost it among his treasures. Oh, that's awesome! Because I actually said this after the boss fight. I was like, dude, you need this red gem to power your ship, when you probably could have done that and then some with the crystal star, but he didn't know. To him, it was just a random weird-shaped sapphire. It's so funny. So, yeah, Cortez took it from the Koopa. Okay, this throws a whole wrench in my theory. This basically confirms that the Boo is the one in Twilight Town. They actually lay it out. It's not even something to speculate on. The Boo is the one from Twilight Town, and the Koopa's the one in Keelhaul Key. Like, the bottom of a ship. He was in, like, just random wreckage, I think. That makes sense. Oh, and he was sassy, too. He was mad that I was onto them all. Alright, Toad Hero. The Toad Hero's final days. The strong Toad held his star and continued his arduous journey. But eventually the miles took their toll upon him, and he collapsed. A traveling healer happened by and saved his life. But the Toad knew his fate was to be trapped in the chest when the star was gone. So he asked his healer to hide the star in a secret place, known to no one. If there's another tale you wish to hear. A healer? Hide it? Where no one would find it. Okay, so outside Twilight Town and Pirate's Grotto, the only other ones were Hooktail Castle and Rogueport Underground, which is actually right outside the Palace of Shadow. Meaning that someone probably just found this chest and either and put it in Hooktail's castle. That's what I'm guessing. Let's see what the Goomba did. Wait, who took this? I just want to revisit the Great Tree. Was this the Goomba that did this? Okay, the hiding places of many have faded into legends. That's good. Some say that the wise Goomba hid one in the Great Tree. That would mean... there is no black chest in the Great Tree. But I guess that means the one that the Goomba was holding that was cursed, connected to the curse, wasn't that one. That's all I can imagine. Anyway, I like how there's actually holes. So the Toad could have been either the Hooktail Castle one or the Rogueport one, and the Goomba, therefore, also could have been the Rogueport one or the Hooktail Castle one. That's fun. Alright, next one. All becomes legend. After the demon was sealed within the Palace of Shadow, many refused to come near that place of terror. But as the years passed, entire generations forgot, and the penniless and the immoral began to congregate in this once barren place. This place soon became a populous harbor, the town of Rogueport, and some even begin to say that the underground city held a legendary treasure. But they were unaware that the demon slept beneath them still. If there's another tale you wish to hear, just ask. Yep, that shows how time let this legend fade into history. And we got another one. The magical map. The heroes knew that the seal might not last forever, and they sought to make the crystal stars available to the one who might need them. So before going to their individual dooms, they made a map to all the stars. And to prevent an evil force from misusing this map, they placed it in a box that could only be opened by the pure of heart. Alright, and that explains how we got to where we are now. Now what this doesn't explain is how Belda, Marilyn, and Vivian came about. So I wonder if there's actually more to this after the post-game. It's possible. But if not, this is gonna be a fun little video to post. And if I actually am missing bits, then I'm gonna have all this recorded and then I'll just pick up from any of the next stuff. But I think this might be all it. So, that was fun! It's cool to learn about this because it just shows that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door has a very fun sense of world building to it. And because just the way the map is laid out, not just like, you know, the whole world, you know, Rogueport sitting on top of old Rogueport, that was the Palace of Shadow as well, and it was all one big city. It's just, it's cool. And it explains, like, how all these other elements, like Twilight Town became a part of it, and, you know, Cortez even, like, played a role in the scattering of things, and how the Koopa ended up properly cursed. It's interesting that the heroes seem to be aware of the curse, too. So that's fun. There was a bit... I just want to revisit the demon. The demon. Was it this? Because the demon seemed to have, like, hordes or something. That's what they say. Demon from the dark beyond. Nay, 'twas a demon. The city sank below the ground, and the quarter came the demon's den. A quarter of the old city became the demon's den. But fear and sent out minions to take the land. So these are monsters, probably. I wonder. Anyway, so yeah, cool. How about that? Yeah. So all in all, it's interesting, and I think this particular aspect of world building just adds a lot to the story. Anyway, we're probably going to do Lumpy or Luigi's Tale next, so don't miss that. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like this video if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, smack the bell so you never miss a thing, consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, Fill in the Blanks and Otter Limits, for supporting me on Patreon. And if you're still here, question of the day: what is the most interesting part of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door's world building to you? Whether it's like just Grubba being immortal casually through the Crystal Star, or some aspect of Cortez. Do you just wonder, like, what these people looked like when they weren't demons, you know? Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Is the Battle Master related to the Master?